Hello, everybody. My name is Hachi Playos, and I'm joined by Matt and Mike, and we're about everything.
Yo.
Hey guys.
And just before we start today's topic, how are you guys doing?
I am I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really tired. I actually just got done helping somebody get ready to move all the way to Kentucky. So there was a lot of stuff to load. But I've actually got a really funny story to tell you guys. It was something that happened 2 Fridays ago from the time of this recording. It was really fucking funny. So I work at a trailer factory and I am groundskeeper, okay? And a tree had fell behind the steel shop. And so I'm clearing the brush and everything. I got the limbs exposed. I cut the tree up. And then I radioed receiver Dan that I need a hopper, which is like a dumpster. So he's like, okay, I'll be there in just a bit. And I'm sitting there waiting. And I look to my left and there's a forest behind the weld shop, right? And I'm looking to my left and I see this squirrel. And it's getting ready to, jump to the next branch. And usually squirrels are pretty accurate. They usually don't miss. But and I'll never ever witness this again. And I didn't know whether to laugh or whether to feel bad. But somehow this squirrel jumped wrong. And instead of making it to the branch normally, don't ask me how this happened, but it completely fucking impaled itself. It impaled itself, and it quivered after it got impaled, and then the branch broke off. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react because I was thinking I've never seen anything like that in my whole life, and I'll never witness it again.
Mike,
I have been waiting 2 weeks to tell you guys that.
Mike, that squirrel had a name. His name was Frank. He was dumb as fuck.
And he was fond of his nuts.
No, obviously not if he impaled him, though.
It was... I did not know how to react. On one hand, it was fucking hilarious. But on the other hand, it's like, I feel bad because he was just trying to do his thing. He's just going from one tree to the next. And
if you want to talk about very interesting things, a couple months ago, I was just left home, just about to leave the addition I live in. And what I see is a fucking hawk swoop down, take off the fucking squirrel right in front of me. I was like, dude, what the hell did Gerald do to you? It's just wanted some nuts.
Fucking bad, man. Birds are fucking bad.
I would know. I hit one.
Let's move on to today's topic. So today's topic is about spooky stories or scary stories.
Ooh.
Hey guys, I could tell the scariest story of all. It's called marriage. Damn it, Jacob!
Yeah.
Motherfucker! You beat me to it. I'm fucking pissed now, man.
All right, Matt, go first.
This is gonna be the shittiest structured story ever because it's not. I can't really retell the events because this is almost a fucking decade ago at this point. I lived in a 2-story house. At this point in time, it was, I think, mid-junior year of high school. I can't remember. Only thing I know is that I was home. I was sick. I was watching season 1 of Inuyasha on my 360. That's it. Time of my fucking life. It was fucking great. Okay. But, of course, when you're sick, you start dozing off. You start getting tired. Around that point in my life, I've had random spouts of sleep paralysis. And no, there was no demon involved, Jacob.
Oh, shit.
So I'm sitting there, start dozing off, it hits. I'm sitting there thinking, this is fucking normal. I'm going to start bouncing a bit in my bed in a couple seconds. Normal things, and then, I heard something whisper in my ear. This never happened before, and it's just a little girl going, "Do you like me?"
Ooh.
A few seconds later, snapped out of that paralysis, looked up, snapped to the left, nothing was fucking there. And this is during the middle of the week, during school, so No one's home.
Yeah.
I don't have any younger siblings. I am the youngest of the siblings. So it's like, the fuck was that?
Yeah. Oh.
What makes it even worse is that room I lived in at the time, it had 2 doors. Because one door led to a half bathroom, sink, toilet, that's it. And then the other doors leads to the hallway staircase. Both doors were open. I remember them both being shut. So I was the only one home. I don't know what the fuck went on that day.
Sounds like some very heavy shit.
It's not that heavy though. It's just everything else is normal except for those 2 little things. Everything else is just like, what the hell? And ever since that day, I've never had a bout of sleep paralysis again.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, like one of the worst feelings I've ever had is like just not having sleep for a long time, you know? And that can feel like really shitty, but I could not imagine having no sleep to the point where it's like you start fucking hallucinating.
Right.
That is so fucked up, dude.
Well, the fact is, I did sleep. Sleep paralysis is. Did anyone actually find out what the fuck causes sleep paralysis?
I think it's like a traumatic experience.
No, I'm genuinely curious because I have no idea.
I think it's like lack of sleep and a traumatic experience. I think that's it.
So a traumatic experience makes sense. This was a couple years after my mom passed, so it's like, could that have caused it? Lack of sleep's kind of obvious. I'm an insomniac. I barely sleep as it is, and if I do sleep, it's terrible quality.
Take anything?
No? Melatonin, none of that shit really helps.
I've been having trouble sleeping too.
Maybe get a little ghost girl in your house. Whoa!
Something to keep in mind though is that if you look around or if you like talk to a lot of men, you'll notice that not a lot of men get good sleep. And I notice that's when men continue to get older. I honestly think it's just a man thing to not get good sleep. I really do, because I even have trouble sleeping. I have horrible sleeping issues. I'll wake up randomly in the middle of the night for no reason.
Right, you'll like fall asleep, then 2-3 hours later, just randomly up and around for
no bathroom, no drink. I don't need it, and I just wake up for no reason, and I just toss and turn all night long, and it drives me fucking nuts.
You know what people are going to say? It's your bed. Your bed's causing. It's like, no, it's just even with. No, I used to sleep on a couch.
Well, another thing to keep in mind too is like the older you get, the more things that are going on in your life. There's work and there's money to keep up with. There's a lot of stresses, and stress can literally just keep you up. I mean that's just a part of life, you know.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Or you know that 4-hour Rainbow Six Siege binge.
Oh, by the way, guys, if I sound funny, it's because I think I'm starting to just now get a cold out of nowhere, and I've been like coughing and sneezing and blowing my nose constantly. So if I do accidentally cough during the podcast, I do apologize.
This is where Matt comes into play and edits it all out. Or attempts to.
Fuck. Good luck. That's why I'm muting myself constantly.
I mean, I did good last time, I think. I wouldn't know. No one comments on the videos.
Oh
which
yeah.
makes me sad.
Oh yeah, you did great, man. You did fantastic.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
I forgot to mention, I have a new headset with a new microphone.
And it sounds so much better. And I even got a new microphone since then.
I'm sexy. It sounds so sexy, man.
Sexy.
Speaking of back on that podcast, be grateful. I did that in 5 hours. For those that watched it, 5 hours of editing for that.
That's really fucking impressive.
And I haven't edited a big project in like 9 years. Ever since I went to Impact Mic. That's the last time I did a big project. It was my final for that class.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been a while. Shit.
I wonder how a Dream Battles video would have done at Impact.
Well, the fact that we could literally we have a fucking green screen, like not even a screen, it's a full fucking wall
Oh, that's cool.
with a little stage I was in front of it, and we have like TV quality cameras and shit like that.
Oh.
Yeah, and you thought your setup's nice. We have a literal sound studio.
Yeah.
Problem though,
That's awesome.
we worked on Macs.
Mm.
I back then I didn't really have a problem with it because they were fairly decent computers. It's when one of my buddies, fuck, I forgot his name, went to render one of his videos out. Keep in mind, these are Macs, good RAM, and all this other shit. It took him like 36 fucking hours to render that video.
God.
Yeah. The teacher was like, "What the hell did you do?" It was a pretty fucking good video in the end, but she's just mind blown, man.
What? Was it just too many fucking frames?
Yeah, I guess so. That's my guess. My guess he did it at like 1080p, 60 frames per second, did the whole fucking shebang.
Oh, thank God it wasn't 2K or 4K.
Well, back then 4K wasn't really a. Yeah, see, that was 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
4K wasn't really a big thing. 2K was.
We caught you in DVD HD.
Yeah, you get 720 to fucking 1440. That's it.
Hey, don't make fuss 720. That is my highest quality I can produce.
You can do 1080. If you got rid of that storage limit, you could do 1080 60.
I know, but man, I have so much stuff that I work with that I'm forced to do 720. There's just so much on my iPad.
See, we're the opposite. I have the storage. I just don't have the upload speed. Like my WRC videos I do every Saturday, 2.5 fucking days to upload.
Like dude, I'm telling you, this like Ridley versus Vilgax video, I have hours and hours and hours of footage that I have downloaded, and it's just to find clips to use. And oh my gosh,
hopefully we can get that done so we can go on to the next one.
I know,
Michael,
which we're already working on.
You're working on. I haven't done any of my work, so.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
I know, but it sounds better when we say we.
All right, Jacob, go ahead. No, not the ganja. It's legal where you are. It's legal for me and Mike.
All right, Mike, do you want to tell us one of your stories?
Yeah. I can now. I will tell you that I was so busy that I didn't even have time to write my own, and so I'm just using stuff that's that already exists. But I otherwise hope that you all find it very interesting and entertaining. So the first one I'm going to read is the shortest story I have. Well, I wouldn't really say it's a story, and you'll see why. So here we go. It's August 13th, 2008. Daniel wakes up early at 5 a.m. He's excited to go on a big fishing trip with his dad. Fishing is one of his favorite things to do, and it's the best way to spend time with his old man. With being so busy at work, it's hard to see or visit him. But when he has time, they spend good quality time together. So they head to the trip, but to his shock, they are heading to Michigan, the Great Lakes. Exciting. They make it and cast some lines for a few hours, catch some fish, eat, and have good talks and laughs. But then suddenly, his dad got a call. He answers and he acts kind of odd. So Daniel overhears the conversation, even when his phone is not on speaker. He is apparently cheating on his mom. Daniel's not happy and is quiet now. His dad now has this feeling that he knows what's up. So they fish quietly for what seems like hours. Then all of a sudden, Daniel's bobber goes down, and very fast. It's strong, and Daniel cannot get a good grip. His dad rushes over with excitement. However, even both of them cannot reel in this fish. Then suddenly, it bolts down further, and Daniel slips out of his dad's hands and falls into the water. As he went down, he noticed his line loosened, and whatever was caught on his line was heading towards his direction. It is a giant, massive beast. It is a giant, massive beast that made a slow stop and stared directly at Daniel. Daniel was swimming towards the surface. He made it up as he took a deep breath and screamed for his dad. But then his dad saw the eyes and a giant mouth engulfed his boy. It was very tragic. A funeral took place, and his dad had then gone through a divorce because of the cheating and, of course, their kid dying. As time passed, he couldn't sleep. He had visions and nightmares of his boy, and also could not get the image of that creature out of his mind. He plummeted on the couch and went for his bottle of beer. He had been drinking for quite a while. But then, for some odd, strange reason, he was sucked directly into the bottle. He found himself in the water, what appeared to be the ocean, with the creature staring directly at him and swallowed him completely whole. This is horrible and very sad, but what neither realized was that they had ran into an entity classified by the SCP Foundation as SCP-1128. This is an entity that manifests as a massive aquatic predator to anyone who is given a full description of the being's appearance through either spoken, written, or visual descriptions of this creature. People who are affected by SCP-1128 will initially exhibit no abnormal behaviors, though in some cases there is a showing of general aversion to activities involving bodily immersion in water, such as bathing or swimming or a lot of frequent drinking. But we'll get to that. Should a subject ever be fully immersed in water, they will disappear completely under the surface of the water, regardless of the water's actual depth. And so basically, if you are, walking down the street and there's a puddle of water, you'll just fall directly down, regardless of the depth. And in most cases, subjects will reappear moments later in a panic state and frantically try to leave the water, while in some other cases, the water will become completely bloody with debris. So, like blood and shit. So, yeah. Subjects that have reappeared intact claim that they were transported to a vast ocean where they are pursued by SCP-1128. Interviews with these people carry some risk, though, of further SCP-1128 contamination, as descriptions of the being's appearance even trigger further infections onto others. SCP-1128 infection. However, this SCP-1128 infection can be treated with Class C amnestics, as it appears memory of the entity or descriptions of it are required for this anomalous property to take effect. So, yeah, that is my first kind of scary, spooky story. I know SCP isn't really horror, but I find some aspects of it to be kind of scary, and just like descriptions of the creature, I think can be really terrifying. So,
all right. Yeah, I'll be the first one to comment on this. First off, as someone who already hates open water and hates being submerged in open water, no. Just no.
And to think, Matt, you don't even have to be submerged. You just walk down the street, there's a puddle, and all of a sudden you drop in the ocean.
Right. And where we live, or at least where you used to live as well, there's a lot of little random divots in the roads and sidewalks that create puddles. So
yeah,
you're pretty much in landmine territory.
Oh, I forgot to mention, there was more to read, but I didn't want to make it too long. Even just drinking a glass of water, you will get sucked inside of the cup.
That sounds fucking awesome.
That's fucking terrifying. Imagine you're like, man, I'm thirsty, and all of a sudden you're like, oh,
right.
And then all of a sudden you're getting engulfed by a fucking aquatic monster, man. Oh, and I think the other thing that makes this so scary, in my mind, this is in my opinion the scariest SCP. This is why I chose it. And I think the reason why this is so terrifying in comparison to like SCP-3000, which I
Mhm.
would say is just almost as terrifying because of its size. It's just like you can't even imagine how big it is. But I think it's because the ocean in general and the mystery of the deep depths below makes it really scary. And something that big or something like this could possibly exist. Not to say you're gonna, fall into the ocean by just stepping on a puddle of water, but
Right.
just seeing a creature like this, it could be possible. It's very terrifying.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to share this. I know it's not a story, so that's why I kind of wrote a short story at the beginning.
I was about to
But
say,
it's a really good lead up to explaining the creature.
well worth the like 45-minute wait we had to wait on.
Yeah,
I
I'm
will say
sorry.
that.
Actually, I had to read that 2 times because I'm so under the weather.
Don't
I
worry, you
just
will
started
never
getting
see the
cold
first
out of
attempt.
nowhere. Yeah, it was horrible, guys.
All right, Jacob, are you ready for story number 1?
Yes.
All right, take the floor.
All right, so I've been thinking about this story for like about 3 years right now. It's kind of similar. I wouldn't say it's exactly what Stephen King would think of, but it's something like that. It's about grass. So it opens to a peaceful city. It shows a man mowing his grass. It shows kids playing in a sandbox and a mother feeding its baby with a bottle. Then it cuts to a chemical plant. The scientists are testing out this new formula that can turn any plant alive. So they decided to test it on a sunflower. They did a little bit, and the sunflower started moving, and it growed one eyeball, and it started blinking at it. Everyone was so fat. I don't know. I don't have the words for it. They were so entranced by it that they actually can make plants alive. Then it started growing a mouth and started saying gibberish language. Then they documented it and recorded it. Then they killed it because they're afraid if it gets grown even more, it could become dangerous. So they decided to ship this up to the president to see what the president would think about it. They shipped it up in this crate, put it in the back of the truck, and moved along. During their travels, it went to night. There was something in the middle of the road. The truck flipped over, and all the chemicals dripped out. It covered a whole patch of grass. Then it dissolved. Meanwhile, deep underground, there was a little burrow. Then out pops a sprout. Then it formed a whole person out of grass. Then he has the power to see through the ground and sees that the people have been mistreating plants their whole life. He sees an old lady taking care of her plants, but here's the thing is, all her plants are dead. And she just planted new plants, and they're already showing signs of they're dying. He sees a fat, middle-aged man drinking beer with a tank top, ignoring his overgrown lawn, and just pouring out beer all over it. So he decided to get revenge on the people who mistreated the plants. So he starts making minions. And more minions. Meanwhile, back at the scientists, they were fixing more of the chemical. Then an alarm went off. Then they went to go investigate it, and then what they saw was complete and utter nightmare. One of the grass people was merging with one of the humans, putting its hands in the face, then crushing its skull. Scientists were scared, shocked on how they would react like this. Then the grass man spoke one word: revenge. Then time skip, a few years later, we see a silhouette of someone mowing a lawn. But when we get closer to it, it shows a grass man with a lawnmower, and the grass he's mowing is human fingers. The end. That was grass. What'd you think?
You know, so I felt like you had issues trying to describe some parts, but I know what you were trying to do. So so what you're saying is that the biological building blocks of plantation were beginning to change, and they were beginning to develop more human parts and like eyeballs and like teeth and stuff like that. Oh, dude! Actually, do you want to know what that reminds me of? There's actually this tumor, and I forgot what it's called, but it's really rare. But what happens when someone gets this tumor is that they will develop like teeth out of their skin, and like it'll like grow hair and even develop like an eye, and it can like appear on very strange parts of the body. It's a very terrifying thing, and it actually happens with like infants and stuff. Very scary shit. It can be treated, but it is really nasty, and I would not suggest trying to look it up. I forgot what it's called at the moment. I think it starts with a T. I think it does.
So, what you're telling me is, I can grow teeth on my dick from this tumor.
Yeah, and it seemed to happen, or it seemed to grow on like people's toes, and organs can grow like hair, and it's really fucked up. It grows all kinds of random things and creating new organs, and it's a really terrifying and fucked up tumor, and it's extremely rare. It's like extremely rare. And that's what this story Jacob was telling just now started to remind me of, because it's like the sunflower like grew an eyeball, and then like the grass was like developing fingers, and it's a very interesting and kind of creepy idea, because if you think about it, you walk outside one day and all of a sudden one of the strands of grass looks like a finger, right? And then the rest of them just start like, moving like fingers and shit, and then you have like people growing out of the ground, And,
right.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Yeah.
I will agree.
Very creepy. Yeah. Yeah, good job, Jacob.
Matt, what'd you think about it?
I will say it is very interesting.
That's what I was gonna say. It's very interesting.
Oh god. I'm sorry, I just ate, so I'm not trying to burp into the microphone.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna puke from
No.
that tumor I was describing.
No.
That was very.
Mike, I'm going to recommend a movie.
Better
for
not be
you.
looking up images of that shit.
Wait, no, we're not having the zombies deer disease discussion again.
Oh god. Oh, that was so bad.
No, for some weird reason, when we start discussing that tumor, it reminded me of the movie Teeth.
Ugh.
Have you heard about that movie?
Isn't that a vampire?
No, I haven't, but it sounds
It's
terrifying.
not vampires, Jacob. Vagina teeth.
Well, there's a vampire movie
Oh.
called Teeth.
Yeah, Mike, you heard that.
Vagina teeth?
Yes, I can't fucking describe the movie. It's
So
so
it's like-
fucking
I know what you're talking
weird.
about.
Okay. So I'll guess the description like this. It's a vagina with freaking dentures,
No,
right?
no,
Oh.
no,
Okay.
no.
I
It's
know
a
what you're talking
horror
about.
movie, Mike.
What I was thinking
Yeah,
of
she went
when
to
you
the
said
doctor.
a vagina.
I
with
want some teeth.
Yeah.
No.
She went to the doctor, and then when he was looking under the hatch, it latched onto him.
No, it's actually a horror movie. I forgot where the fuck I heard it from, but it's
Do you guys
pretty
imagine that
fucked up.
fucking killer? We have a new killer on par with Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Michael Myers.
vagina.
It is the vagina with dentures. There's like a trail of corn leading into an alley. And all of a sudden there's like this vagina monster with fucking dentures. And it just chews a guy up.
Oh god, what have I caused by mentioning that movie?
Look at this. It's a corn on a cob. And look, a trail of blood. Oh my god.
Sure, it's
Yeah,
corn on the
so-
cob and not something else.
Yeah. So my idea of grass, which is the name of the story, the ending was him mowing down human fingers. So these grass people made humans into new plants.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That's his
So
revenge, huh?
they're mowing. They're mowing. Now humans get to feel all the plant oppression that they've been feeling for
Oh.
eons.
Oh, we're going to the 90s, man.
Oh
This is no.
no, we're not in the '90s. No, that's early 2000s. I'm thinking of.
No, dude. In the 90s, they had so many like movies and animated movies about like
Plants,
oh,
fish.
look what we do to nature. Look how bad man is. Man is so evil.
You ever heard of Animal Farm?
No, I haven't.
So Animal Farm, it's about these farm animals who are very intelligent, and they come up with their own like civilization in the farm. So they overrule their farm taker. They overrule the farmer, and they have to like live by their own code. So 4 legs only, and they count wings as four legs as well. So the chickens
Interesting.
aren't. So there's multiple. The original is a book, then there's an animated movie, then there's a live action movie. I would say the live action movie is more understandable, but the animated movie is more creepy.
Say, I don't know, man. Whenever you turn a twisted story like that to an animated film, it just rubs you the wrong way, in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Animal Farm, we have Watership Down, which is really fucked up.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when I came up with the story like 3 years ago, I always wondered, like, there's always a story about how an animal becomes evil or how someone gets infected with this evil and they can't really explain it. Why not like plants? You know, of course, there's Little Shop of Horrors, but you know that's
So that was the only example I could actually think of.
Yeah, me
there's
too.
Little Shop
Well,
of
actually,
Horrors,
there is another, and it's Godzilla versus Biollante. And
But
I'll tell you what,
that's a kaiju movie though, not like a horror film.
I know, but Biollante has that movie does have some horror scenes though, with Biollante. It's pretty cool.
Is it the costumes?
No, dude, it's actually people getting like killed and wrapped up with vines and shit. It's really fucking awesome.
I mean, there was also
That's a
that one
really-
scene in Harry Potter.
That's
I
a
think that's
really
just
good movie for
predatory
God.
plan.
That's a really good movie for a Godzilla film though, because a lot of Godzilla movies fucking suck. And I love Godzilla, but the movies do suck.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Like, was there any other films or animation or even TV show episodes with plants
Okay.
rising up?
Well,
I think they're just predatory plants.
I won't say this is a plant, but this is something that always kind of creeped me out, but it's not a scary movie. It's the origin of like the enemy, and it's an animated film called Monster House.
Yep.
I love
Yep.
Monster
Yep.
House.
That's a damn good movie.
That's a good movie. It's not really scary, but the origin
The origin.
of how the house,
yeah, man.
the origin of how the house came to life. It's kind of fucking creepy.
It's
And it always kind of creeped me out.
the best way to put it. It's not just creepy. It's also depressing. It's morbid. The ending of the movie is fucking depressing as hell.
I've only seen that movie 2 times, and I still remember that origin.
I remember when
It's
Cartoon
pretty
Network
creepy.
would play that every fucking Halloween season.
Oh,
Every one. Damn, it's good.
yeah.
I would say my favorite part of Monster House is when Chowder figures out that the house is alive. And he's like, "Oh, a bottle!"
You cut out for me, but I'll take your word for it.
No. He was like, no. It was when Chowder discovers like the house was alive, Mike, and he's like, "Oh, no, a bottle!"
Did he cut out during that part?
Yep. He's clipping. That's why. He's fucking clipping.
He said,
Matt, did you hear what I said?
No, because what's happening is your voice is being risen more than your microphone's threshold can hit. So what you're doing is you're not cutting out because of connection, you're cutting out because your audio is clipping.
Is mine doing the same thing?
No, you're good.
Okay, sweet.
Well,
Damn,
you guys
I'm
are
good.
just lucky.
I'm just so sexy.
Well, for me, I have an audio cap. It doesn't go above like 12 decibels.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that, below that, I don't care about.
1 second.
It's like the kid. It's like the kid fucking cursed during that scene.
Oh, fuck no, man, no! Monster House Abridged. Let's do it.
Oh my god, dude. I love Team 4-Star, and I really wished that they would have done a Justice League Abridged. That would have been so fucking funny.
Dude, they would have been slapped so fucking hard, though.
I know, but man, it would be so good.
Oh, wait, I'm still in that thread. Yeah, thread. There we go.
Oh, okay. We're getting so off topic now.
I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was
Matt,
it?
go ahead.
Fuck, I don't have a story.
Well, make one up.
I got 2 sentences. Alright? That's all I got. So, I can't move, breathe, speak, or hear, and it's so dark all the time. If I knew it would be this lonely, I would have been cremated instead.
Oh my god. Dude, you just described my character. You just described Armus.
I fucking
What the fuck?
love that story so much. 2 simple
Dude.
sentences that fuck you up.
I am so jealous of whoever fucking made that 2 sentences, because that would have been a perfect line for my book. That pisses me off. Oh, that is so good though.
Oh, you want another one, Mike?
Yeah.
My daughter won't stop crying and screaming in the middle of the night. I visit her grave and ask her to stop, but it doesn't help.
I saw that one a little bit ago. That's a really good one. I was actually considering reading that.
I mean, as a dad, that fucks with me on so many levels.
Yeah, I bet. Wow. That was really powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Those are so powerful.
God, that's why I fucking love them so much.
Wow. It's not, it doesn't feel like a story. It feels more like emoting.
It is, like, this one gets me because I work second shift, so I technically work near the night, but not third. Working the night shift alone tonight. There was a face in the cellar staring at the security camera.
Ugh. I seriously have no more water. Oh my god. Okay.
Break. Time out. Water.
Oh, dude, what other ones do you got? Are there any more?
She asked why I was breathing so heavily. I wasn't.
Were you?
You know something. There are so many stories about so many things about like hauntings or just really weird things, and I think I'm one of the few people who have actually experienced a true haunting. And it's a story I don't really talk about much because it was such a traumatic experience.
To interrupt,
it was just crazy.
For people that think Mike is bullshit on this, I've heard the recordings.
Yeah, which I don't have them anymore, and it pisses me off.
Like, wasn't one of literally just a stool just randomly knocking over in your house?
So the first one I did, so Dad was pissing us off, right? Because we were trying to tell him that the shit was going on, and it was far less frequent whenever we were kids. But for some strange reason, when we became teenagers, I think what was happening was they were feeding off of our emotions, and I definitely know that because I was becoming like really pissed off all the time. I had a lot of anger issues, but I'll get to why I think that happened. You know what? I'm just gonna tell this story, the story of my haunting experience. So I was in high school at the time, and Matt knows this because I was doing YouTube stuff at the time. This is when I was first starting YouTube.
This is back with the old channel, man.
This is the OG. This is when I sucked.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. Bullshit. Your videos back then were decent compared to mine. They were a lot fucking better. Back in the day. There's a reason why those D&D videos disappeared, motherfucker.
Anyway, yeah. So this was around that time, and I remember things were becoming really frequent. My mom was saying that there was weird stuff going on. My sister was saying weird stuff was going on. And one day, I'm just laying in bed, and I'm playing my PS2 or PS3 or something like that. And I heard like tapping on the window, and I'm thinking, oh, it's some stupid fucking bird seeing its reflection. So I'm hitting my window, to scare it off. I keep hearing it. I look out the window, and for some weird fucking reason, I see this girl going around our apple trees and stuff in our yard. And I'm just watching her, and I'm like, what the fuck? And she looks at me, and I could read her lips. It was like, help me. I think she was saying like, help me. And I went outside, and she wasn't there. So that was just like, okay, that was fucking weird. And then I just started hearing like sounds. I started hearing like faint like female voices and stuff. And one night I just woke up like feeling horrible, and I just started crying. I started crying for no fucking reason at all. Okay, and so I take my pillow and I go outside on the porch, and I look out at the fireplace, and I see like a faint image of someone on their knees, and they're like all crouched down and shit. And I'm just bawling. Like I just feel horrible. I feel like I lost something, And I wake up the next morning on the porch, and I don't even fucking recall why I ended up on the porch. My mom was like, "Why the fuck are you out here?" And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea how I even got out here. And then I started fucking remembering, and it was freaking me the fuck out, right? And then come to find out, the little girl I saw, this is what I believe. So before I was born, and around the time my sister was born, there was a lady going 90 mile an hour on State Road 8, right? And you know where this is, Matt. And
yes, I
she
do.
went 90, and her kid was heading to a ballet practice thing. Well, she ended up going so fast that she careened into our fence, and the seatbelt cut the girl in half, is what happened.
Jesus.
The mother lived, but the girl died. It was bad. So I actually think that girl's spirit didn't pass on. I think it's still there. I think that's what happened. And I think that's who I saw. I do, but I never contacted the woman or anything. We kept her out of that just because it was too much. And then I found out that where I used to live, it used to be a gypsy campground. And there was a lady that died there who happened to be gypsy, and she lost her kid. And so I think what happened was I think I got possessed. Okay? And I think I was feeling her emotions, and I think I was feeling the loss of her kid. And that's what I think. That's what I think. I don't know if that's what happened, but that's what I think. So this stuff's becoming more frequent. And I actually started getting recordings, and I started getting more involved with finding out what was going on. So I was actually trying to communicate with these fucking things. I was playing ball with the girl. I was telling her, like, come here and play ball with me, right? And I was rolling it around. I'm in the shop, and I'm rolling the ball back and forth. And I'm just astonished. And I'm recording this, right? I'm recording audio. I catch clips and stuff. I catch voices. You know, my mom's fucking freaking out over this shit. And then all of a sudden, I'm catching my dad's office door opening all by itself. Like the doorknob is literally moving, and it's opening all by itself. It's like opening and closing. And there was a gray orb that was also caught on camera that I had too. And I showed this to my dad, and I believe what he told me was that when he was far younger, he had used a Ouija board, which that fucking pissed me off when I heard that. So I think there's a spirit following him around, in my opinion. And I think it's the next thing I'm going to talk about. And this is where things get really fucked up for me. And this is what was so traumatic. So one day, my mom's coming home from a paint or drywall job. And she tells me to take this stuff to the shop. And I'm doing so well. I had a cat named James. And James is freaking out. He's acting really weird. And he was inside the shop, and he just went bolting out. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? Okay, he's never done that before. He's never clawed at it so violently, and it's not like he was in there for a long time or anything. I just fucking put him in there. So I go in the shop, I'm putting the stuff away. I look up to my right, I see this black thing on the wall with like long arms and long legs, but I didn't get like a full description of it at the time because it immediately like jolted up and fell behind the big 75-inch TV, and I bolted out of there. I didn't go in there for a long ass time. I refused to go in there, and it was pissing my dad off, you know, because I refused to go in there to do anything, even helping my dad, right? So then time passed, Despicable Me 2 comes out, and Leslie and I purchased it on the Xbox 360 to watch. And, you know, I'm trying to adjust to it, and we're watching it. I look over to my right. I could have sworn I saw something crawl along the floor really fast. Fucking freaked me out. Told Leslie I'm leaving. I'm fucking gone. I didn't want to be in there. Well, then all of a sudden, sometime later, that thing is not in the shop anymore. It's in my fucking room. And this was like night after night. And all of these occurrences I had with this thing, it hardly ever moved. Never. The only times I saw it move were in the shop. But at this point, it's not doing anything to me. It's just sitting there. And what's really odd was I could make out what this thing looked like in complete total darkness, right? So it was like blacker than black. It was very strange. The other strange thing about it was that it had no outlinings of any kind because it was so dark that it was just like a mass of darkness. But it had like some details. What I was able to analyze and figure out was that its legs, the most disturbing part was the legs. So basically, it looked like its torso was flipped. Okay, and so like, its hips and legs were like reversed, and it was like in a birth-like pose, and the upper half of its body was normal, but its arms and hands were oddly long, along with its legs and feet. The other thing I noticed was that the body itself was really small. It was like a child size, but everything else was so abnormally large. And it was just very strange. I never wanted to get out of bed. I would just sit there and look at it. It was so hard to get to sleep. I was always in a bad fucking mood. I couldn't tell anybody because nobody would fucking believe it. I mean, people still don't believe it now, but I really did fucking experience this, and it was terrifying. I hated this fucking thing. I noticed I got more angry as time went. I started working out at around this time too. Matt knows that I was working out a lot. And oh yeah, and I figured it would help with my anger issues, but it didn't, and I didn't feel good about anything. And I honestly think what was going on was this entity was targeting me, and it was feeding off of my emotions by somehow making me more angry. That's why it never engaged with me at all, which is very odd. It always just sat there, and I think it was doing its thing. My nephew, who I don't talk to anymore, he actually stayed over one night, and he told me that he was laying on the couch, and there was this large, long arm and hand that came up, and it freaked him out. So he actually came to my room and slept in my room. And it really fucking freaked him out. And then all of a sudden, my mom is starting to fucking get hurt. She's being shoved, and she's being hit on the head and stuff, just out of fucking nowhere. And so things are now getting violent. Then, for some weird reason, my sister's having an interaction with a spirit too, a very tall spirit. Which, so do you know how like the Predator cloaks itself and it's got like that weird light bending effect?
Mm-hmm.
So from what I have seen, I would sometimes see that, right? It would just like pass by, and it was real fucking tall, and it smelled like smoke. I get that weird smoke smell. It's like, what the fuck, man? You know? And then come to find out, this guy named Nick had passed away. He was a good friend of my dad's, and he kept his gun, and he was a real big, tall guy who smoked. Okay? And the first thing her and I saw was we were waiting on the bus. We looked to our right, and we saw something walk across the road briefly. And it almost looked like a predator cloak, and it was really fucking tall. And it was so weird. We would smell smoke and hear like stomping, real heavy stomps, you know? So this was just becoming so frequent. Things were just getting out of control. And I actually do blame a part of this on my parents' divorce to some degree. I'm really happy with where my parents are. I'm really happy that they're with other people and are a lot happier in general, because that's all I care about. I don't care if my parents are back together or not. But I do think that did play some kind of role, even if they didn't know it, you know, because I think it was fucking with our emotions. So one of the reasons we decided to move was that was one of the reasons. And my greatest fear was that black thing was going to jump in the back of our vehicle and follow us. That's what I thought was going to happen. But since then, I haven't really experienced it at all. It doesn't happen anymore. I don't feel angry like I used to anymore. Nothing happens now. And I never want to go back there again. I really don't, because I don't want it to latch itself to me or anything. Yeah, that's my story, man. That's my story of my true haunting. If whether or not anybody watching this wants to believe it. So
No, that makes
Have
my
you
story
any
sound
other
like a piece of shit.
yeah, it really is. It really is like fucked up. And telling this story, it kind of infuriates me because it sounds fake, and I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was one of the worst experiences I ever had in my life. It was horrible. I'll never forget it. And sometimes I just and sometimes I just look up at the ceiling, you know, when I'm in bed, and I'm always like, man, like I get this feeling that one of these days I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna see it, you know, and like that's the kind of effect it's had on me, you know. But I never do, and I haven't it happen since. So
Oh shit.
Hmm.
Like I
Yeah.
said, that makes my haunting bullshit feel like nothing.
yeah.
Did you ever
Oh,
have
I
a?
also found out, Matt,
Mhm.
that my house used to be a bar, and that recording I have, or that I had of like the bar stool sound like dragging across the floor,
Yeah.
I honestly think that was just the sound of the bar at the time. Just for no reason, just because of hauntings. You know, hauntings are very weird. Hauntings are hard to explain, and I think it's something beyond our comprehension that we just will never understand. But there's always going to be a debate on whether people are full of shit, or whether, you know, people will believe it, or, you know, whether it's real or not.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. A long day. Very long day.
All right.
I'm Mr. Green Christmas.
Oh, we need to
I'm
go.
Mr.
We need to go Jacob now. It's Jacob's turn. Jacob, do you got a story?
Hmm. I'm thinking.
I'll give you 5 seconds for
I
reading
have
our
a
2 sentence horror
spooky
story.
story.
Damn it.
I have a spooky story. I have a spooky story about a Brooklyn guy versus an old lady fighting over the last piece of Wonder Bread.
Not this again.
Matt, do you have a horror story?
I have a 2 sentence
Who's
horror
getting
story.
to the spooky parts, Mr. G. God damn it.
Well, I don't think anything about Wonder Bread and being in New York is terrifying.
I
or
don't know. You
spooky.
ever been to Brooklyn?
Well, you could listen and I'll get to the scary parts.
Well, there's nothing creepy about it at all. It just sounds like the intro from the last episode.
Then the old lady had a chest burster, and the chest burster killed everyone. The end.
There you go.
See, you could have heard that, but
So, Mike, I got one
Yeah,
for
Matt.
you.
All right.
I can't
I
sleep.
am the host.
You motherfucker, we're gonna do this.
What?
I will mute you.
Oh, you! You were interrupting me.
I had to make a statin joke. Leave me alone. So, Mike. I can't sleep, she whispered, crawling to bed with me. I woke up cold, clutching the dress she was buried in.
Cheese and fucking rice. Oh my god, that's horrible.
These are getting fucking dark. I love it.
I know, right?
All right, here's another one.
Might as well change this to spooky stories and poems.
The grinning face stared at me from the darkness beyond my bedroom window. I live on the 14th floor.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
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 Ah.
Mm.
Ah.
Oh, alright, this one's gonna get Mike and Jacob and me the exact same time. Perfect trifecta. So,
Ah.
I always thought my cat had a staring problem. She always seemed fixated on my face. Until one day when I realized that she was always looking just behind me.
You know what's interesting is that animals and very small children see things that we don't.
Yep.
Yeah, like shapes when their parents are making out.
Okay, that's not what I was getting to, but alrighty then.
Hey Mike, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any mirrors around you?
0. I have 0.
Fuck, then this one won't work.
Kind of names are you looking for?
I could stand in front of a mirror if you want me to.
No, I was gonna say put back the mirrors. We miss watching you.
That's pretty good. Oh, dude, that reminds me of that horror movie about the fucking mirrors. And where basically your
Oculus.
reflection comes to life and tries
No.
to kill you.
No, that's not.
Oh,
No, Oculus is clearly a different movie.
oh, I hate that. I saw the trailer and it's like a person looking at themselves in the mirror, and all of a sudden it comes to life and fucking kills them. And or it does that little like subtle thing where it's like looking at them as they're bending down. It's really fucking creepy, man. I hate that shit. That shit is so creepy. Ugh.
Do you know what I hate more than mirrors? I really hate fucking mirrors. Mannequins. Fucking mannequins. You know what would suck even worse? If your mannequin's wrapped in bubble wrap. And then you hear them popping.
Sorry, I had to cough.
Fuck your cough.
Ooh. I had to mute my mic for it. Oh. All right. I actually do have another story to share.
I got one more before you go to your story. Remember how we talking about how men just don't sleep worth a shit?
Yeah.
Put this thought into your head. I never go to sleep, but I keep waking up.
Yeah. Oh, dude, have you ever had those dreams and where you think you wake up but you don't?
Yep.
And all of a sudden something happens and you wake up again. I've had a lot of dreams like that, and there's actually one I would like to share. But I'll save that for the dreams and nightmares episode that I'm planning. So
Nice.
yeah. So this story, I had this written a long time ago, and I really wish I could have read this to you guys, but dumbass me doesn't have it. So I'll just pretty much tell you what it's about. It was titled Red, and it's because the obsession that our protagonist obsesses over is someone who has red hair. So this is about a man with a name that cannot be what's that fucking word I'm looking for? It's not available, right? They don't know the actual person's name because this person or this man has 3 split personalities. The first one is the therapist, and he won't ever reveal his name to anyone. He simply just presents himself as the doctor or the therapist. The second personality is the child, and his name is Alex. The third personality, though, is the father of Alex, who is Marcus. Each personality acts as a separate person from the other personalities, but they're unaware, and that basically each of them share the same exact body. There's this lady named Betty, who I'm going to call that's what I'm going to call her for now. I had a name at the time, but I don't have it anymore. Unless you guys want to give her a different name, we can call her something else.
Delilah.
Okay. So Delilah is tasked with basically being this patient's therapist of sorts, and her goal is to get each of these personalities to realize and that they are all the same person inhabiting the same body. The one person that she's able to interact with and actually have a conversation with is the doctor and therapist. And there is actually a point where this doctor and therapist begins to realize and that she's speaking the truth and that they inhabit the same body. However, for some strange odd reason, he disappears out of nowhere. He no longer exists. So now the only personalities that inhabit this body are Alex and Marcus, who are father and son. Alex looks to was it Delilah, right? I can't remember now. Matt, do you got a copy?
A copy of what?
her name? Is her name
Delilah?
Delilah? Yeah, Delilah. Okay, thank you. So basically, Alex looks at Delilah as like a mother figure, whereas Marcus himself feels that Alex deserves a mother figure, and he's also just beginning to fall in love with her overall. This begins to develop a very odd and very toxic relationship between the two, and now she's trying to stray herself away. She's also already married, and somehow Marcus finds out, and this really upsets him. Basically, without the therapist trying to talk Alex and Marcus down, he begins to essentially lose control. He breaks out, kills people, and then of course he's now on the hunt for her, and his goal is to remove her husband out of her life, and so that way she has no choice but to be with Alex and Marcus. However, Alex realizes that it's wrong, but he's afraid to stand up to his dad. At some point in the story, though, he finally does. He actually fights his dad in the same body. This is literally this person physically harming themselves, and by like slamming their head up against a wall, or just grabbing objects and just hitting themselves, and the personalities switch on and off from rage to crying, and it's just a back and forth thing, and it's a very terrifying thing to witness, with especially because the two personalities aren't aware and that they inhabit the same body. But in the end, Alex actually takes control, and he puts Marcus down. Thus, this unknown named person kills themselves. But it is found out in the story and that Alex was the main person. The person's name was Alex, but they didn't know this. What happened was that Alex was in a family where he had a very abusive father, right? And his mother was weak. And so basically, he started to create a personality that was a father figure, someone that would stand up for Alex and be his father. However, Marcus ended up literally killing Alex's father. And so that's why he ended up in this insane asylum, because he literally killed his actual dad. His personality just took over and did that. And so now that he was out of the picture, Alex and Marcus could be one as father and son. But now falling in love, he felt he had to do the same with her. So it's a very complicated, very odd kind of story. And I don't feel like this is the epic way to tell it, but this is the only way I could tell it. So yeah, that's my story read, essentially.
Awkward silence begins.
Yeah, awkward silence begins.
That's some deep shit. That's why.
Yeah, isn't it kind of? Yeah, it's fucked up, isn't it?
That's not more fucked up than I thought.
Yeah,
Shit.
I had that story written. I can't believe I lost it.
Time to rewrite it, pretty boy.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is that now that I'm older and a better writer, I could write like a way better version. Oh. And split personality has been used in horror stories, but I don't think to that extent. I don't think to the extent and where like the personalities have a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think that makes it scarier because the personalities aren't even aware that they're inhabiting the same body. I think where it gets to the point, and that these personalities see themselves as separate people, I think that's really scary, because you never know what that person's gonna do.
Right.
Really scary shit.
Oh, fuck.
All right, Jacob, do you have another story?
Well, I don't know. Hard to think. Like, grass was basically my heavy hitter, right?
That was his magnum opus.
That was his magnum.
That was his V8 Beetle we discussed last episode.
Grammy award-winning story.
Mike, that was his Tesla tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my Tesla tank. Which
Matt.
they should fucking know.
Jacob.
I've already said enough stories.
All right. Do you guys want me to read you another story that's not really horror, but it's got some scary aspects to it?
Sure.
Fucking shoot.
All right. Let me just. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna pull this.
I say
Now, as you guys know, I am working on a comic book franchise with my friend Matt, who is the co-creator, and the first series we're working on is called Armus. I planned on keeping this secret through the story, but I have been doubting, and I really think the origin should be first, and so that way people have more of a connection. Hey, do you guys want me to read it or not? It's up to you.
First
Because
off, get this out of the way. Not me, Matt. Another Matt.
Yeah, Matt Daly. Yeah.
Yeah. Not this Matt, other Matt, because not everyone knows about the other Matt and me Matt and the other Matt.
Sorry
and the
about
Matt.
that. I didn't clarify that there's two Matts in our dream team. and sometimes it's kind of weird, but
Oh well. Yeah.
but
If you want to read it, go for it.
Okay, and so Jacob, are you cool with this?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we start off with a man named Seneca who was born to the slave world of Peluda. As a child, he was raised alone with his mother until he turned 10, meaning it was time to step into, the work zone and endure the horrible pains to come, just like all the other slaves have to, because slavery is a really, really, really rough life. And on that day, he was immediately taking physical abuse from a guard. In retaliation, his father stepped in and begged the guard to have mercy on Seneca. In response, he was beaten to death by the hands of this guard, who had then performed, inappropriate sexual actions on Seneca afterwards. So he not only witnessed his father dying before him on his first day as a slave working, but he literally was already being physically abused, and he also had sexual actions performed on him. It's a very dark and sensitive topic. Now 5 years later of undergoing these tortures and extreme work conditions, a plague had spread, killing millions. His mother, being the sickest of the two, did everything in her power to keep Seneca alive, but as a result, she sadly passed away, knowing he would live. She basically did everything in her power to save him, regardless of her health being far worse, because as a mother, it was in her instinct to keep her child alive. So now with no mother and no father, he is alone. And we now fast forward to the age of 35, and is being presented at this point with women who would choose their preferred mates from first sight, and to become married and have a child. That is the thing that these slaves have to do. It is a system designed by this slavery organization, and that these slaves breed and basically produce new workers or women to breed with the workers. So, oops, I lost myself. Okay, so Seneca was presented with what was perhaps the most beautiful woman of them all, and fell for him at first sight, seeing the pure of heart, faith, and humbleness in his eyes. And it was true. Seneca was a man of good faith and of good heart, and the perfect kind of family man. A man who would keep praying for the simple life of like farming, having grass touch his feet, and just be at peace with his perfect family. The slave world was horrible, but his life had also become much better because he was now developing a family. So of course he got with her, which she doesn't have a name yet. So do you guys want to come up with a name for Seneca's wife?
Can't we just get the very, very awesome reference of Claire out of the way?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Hey, I would wink that and just do it.
Call her Claire?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so now he had started this awesome family with his wife Claire. However, there was a single guard that was very jealous of Seneca for having what he thought was the most beautiful woman he had ever laid his eyes on. Seneca started to become aware of this and made a deal with this guard to protect his wife Claire and his daughter from perhaps having sexual actions being forced and performed on them. The deal was simple but very brutal. Every day he must not only work longer but endure the tortures of slaves who disobey. And that's regardless of if he does anything wrong or not. And Seneca accepts. Thus, a monthly road of overtime and horrible tortures takes place. Being placed on mechanisms, being chained, whipped constantly, and beaten to an absolute pulp. Because it was nearly 20 hours around the clock. His body and open wounds had never had time to heal and became weak, along with becoming extremely ill. If this continued, he would die. But to the shock of the guard, he should have died months ago. But to protect his family, he had the strongest will that was ever seen. It was almost intimidating how he could just keep working or even stand for that matter. The guard essentially became fed up, and his lust over Seneca's wife Claire was brewing. Thus, this guard had broke his promise and raped her. But it's unknown if he had touched Seneca's child. Seneca, not being aware of what took place, is still being abused, and his wife was in such a state of shock that she couldn't even speak anymore. In time, pregnancy had shown, but it was impossible because Seneca had been castrated after his first child, as all slaves do. When slaves breed and have children, they are immediately castrated afterwards. So, he now knew the deal was broken. He was physically destroyed, but his mind became dark and strong. Something manifested inside of the man. He finally stood his ground against this guard. He was going to get his revenge despite being completely inferior physically. So, he tried to start a fight with this guy, but he was being toyed around and overwhelmed. He had a friend, in which I had not actually gotten to description of. His best friend essentially was trying to step in and help, but he was pummeled by the guard in response. Seneca, now having flashbacks of his father's death and the thought of his wife being raped, lapsed into an extremely emotional state of negative emotions, thus releasing his inner beast. Quote unquote. Wait a minute, why did I say quote unquote? So, this franchise is called Inner Beast, and everyone has an inner beast, and this is when Armis/Seneca's inner beast emerges. So, with this some strange strength that comes out of nowhere, he took down the guard and killed him with his pickaxe, which he had repeatedly axed over him again and again until his mind and body finally gave in and collapsed. But then suddenly, an earthquake occurs. Kingdoms on this planet fall, slaves die, and the ground beneath Armis crumbles away as he falls and makes impact. Then, just as his friend is about to yell for his name, a large boulder above the hole is sealed, or a large boulder falls and seals the hole. Later on, he wakes up and his body is in horrific pain. His life is slowly beginning to drain away. He begins to embrace life to come after his death. But then suddenly something happens. It's unsure which of these scenarios occur, but it involves some kind of mysterious crystal-like substance making contact and beginning to eat away his body aggressively in a short period of time. Seneca, however, in the end, waited for his last moments. Finally, the pain was gone. All feeling had dissipated. But rather than blacking out and seeing the heavens, he remains looking up towards the ceiling of darkness. He screamed, but no sound was made. In his mind, he was screaming and trying to move, but he couldn't. Seneca was helpless in a cycle of remaining in one spot. Months began to feel like days, while years began to feel like months. His mind was taking effect, unable to perceive time and losing all sense of reality, as the underground environment shifted and formed around his person, like an encased tomb, for 750 years, until he is discovered and his journey begins. And that's the story.
That was fucking ridiculously well written.
Thank you. And that is Armis's origin. I can't wait to make that a comic book, man.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it's so brutal, isn't it?
I mean, it's no berserk, but
Oh,
it's a story for another time.
I think it's worse for this reason. Seneca was not trained as a warrior, and he had no way to defend himself. He was so much weaker in comparison. And Guts, while he went through some horrible shit, okay, I'm not denying that he went through bad shit. But the thing is that he could always fight back. And Seneca, man, he couldn't fight back.
Right.
I actually think it's really scary, and I think it's horrible what he went through. But do you want to know why I made it so dark like that? Because I got sick and tired of people saying how dark Batman's origin is.
Oh no, my parents died. Motherfucker, like every anime protagonist has a parent.
Dude, that's sad. But I mean, you can't tell me that's one of the darkest origins ever written. It's iconic, but fuck, there are origins that make Batman's like nothing.
I'm gonna draw this comparison here, because you know who has the exact same origin story but a lot more badass?
Oh,
Naruto.
Oh yeah.
His parents died defending their village. His father died sealing a fucking demon inside his own child.
Oh yeah.
Better origin story than Batman.
I'm really glad that you guys liked that, though. I'm really glad.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man.
And I'm very excited for that to be shared on this podcast. So
edit it all out, and Mike doesn't know.
We are removing this.
Fucking 30 minutes of footage gone. I don't know what happened, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what happened. Thank you.
Hello, this is the podcast editing company. How can I help you? Yeah, there was this part that I talked about and it was completely cut out. Oh, I am sorry. There's nothing I can do. It is gone. What do you mean it's gone? It means it's gone.
You give me social security number and credit card information.
Yeah. You know, I could retrieve and put it back in as long as you give me your social security number. Credit card. Oh, that's horrible.
That's horrible, but you know, it's sadly fucking true, man. They do shit like that.
Oh my god, so I'm still getting calls from these motherfuckers, but every day I get calls and messages from the stupid fucking medical insurance robot bullshit. It's the same exact message. Same voice, everything. And finally I just called them.
Mm-hmm.
And I get this lady who picks up, sounds nothing like the voice message. And I told her, I said, this isn't to be rude. You say this is recorded, but I don't really care. Stop calling me. I'm done. I have nothing to do with your crap.
All right.
Next thing I know, I'm getting tons of fucking calls and one of them was from an Indian guy. And I was like, nope. He says, hello, is this? And I'm like, nope.
See, the funny thing is, I've had this happen twice. Once was from a law firm in Ohio. And I'm just like, no, this isn't her. Fuck off. Don't call me again.
Oh, dude.
Then the second one
remember with this girl named like Christine, and I'm always getting calls about her and stuff, and it drives me fucking nuts.
See,
and I need to get my phone number changed because now her bill stuff is going to my phone. It's so fucking stupid.
Let's see, but like I was saying, I had a second one that was for like a community college somewhere in New York, and I'm just like, what? How'd you get my number? Fuck off. good day.
Oh my god.
And it would call me every day at 4 p.m. as
And
I'm working.
everyone-
I'm just like, fuck off.
And everyone wondered why I didn't have a phone for so long. I hate fucking phones
See-
because
See, the crazy thing is, though, telemarketers and shit like that only go through, like, major phone companies. Like Verizon, AT&T, shit like that. You go through, like, Straight Talk or something, you maybe get a quarter of the calls and shit.
oh my god.
Because it's something to do with their data usage share agreement or some shit.
Oh, gives me a headache. Well, that's all the stories I have.
All right. Well, might as well end the episode. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you very stay tuned for episode 3 and bonus episodes in the future.
Say, what is
Say
the
bye,
next?
guys.
What's the next bonus episode? First off, I don't remember.
Who knows?
You
knows
know,
what
you
it's
have the
gonna be?
list, motherfucker.
Well, we don't have a list for bonuses. They're just that was just so random what Jacob and I did.
Jesus
We-
Christ.
We didn't really plan it. We just hopped on
Wait.
call.
Wait,
And we're like, let's do this.
I do know what the first bonus episode is, and involves you and me.
Me and you, or
Yeah.
you and Jacob?
Me and you, Mike.
Oh god.
Ragnarok.
Okay, some bonuses have me and Matt, then me and Mike, then Matt and Mike.
Sometimes ourselves, where I just ramble for 20 minutes in
Dude.
14 different languages.
I totally want to discuss God of War Ragnarok though. Oh my god. I have so much to say.
Are we still recording?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Fucker.
Fuck you! Edit out that. Go fucking edit out that outro.
No, I fucking won't.
Fucking kick your ass.
You
Okay.
can't control me and my computer. You're not the
Jacob.
Indian man on the phone.
Jacob,
I am
Do-
the host.
do your super host power thing and I don't know. End the episode.
I smite thee. All right,
Oh.
Smite was a pretty good game.
everybody, shut the hell up! Don't make me go. Don't make me go Kermit the Frog arms on you.
What the fuck?
Like that fact. All right. Real done. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This has been We're About Everything. I am Pouchy Playlist, aka Jacob, joined by Mike G and Zest. aka
That is a straight up insult. Okay, I have a name, and it's fucking Sheila. Okay,
Matt. Bye.
bye.
Bye bye.